and the Ad Council.
To the Breeze, DP, and Hot 37 at ticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weekends. I am Harrison Arns pushing the ones and twos. We got the host of the Breeze, Haas and DP, in here as always. And again, be sure to be paying attention to the stream because we're streaming only as we got Royals on the FM airwaves. You can catch us on stream through Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. We bring in Haas through the Allo VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber, where we understand the importance of exceptional service and local heart. Without further ado, Haas, how's it going, man?
Good. Happy Sunday, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing good. It's not too bad right now. I think we're getting to the point where I looked at the forecast. We're about to get to consistent 100-degree weather pretty much all the way up through August. So I'm enjoying it now. This morning, it's starting to heat up already, but I don't know, Haas, is it getting a heat wave up in your area too?
It was cool for a couple of days. So it's 85 right now, which is pretty nice in the DMV. Just humidity, I think, is the number one killer.
Yeah, we'll take it. It's
I'm enjoying it now.
It's not roasting. I'm not melting as I walk out the door. I'm not having to reshower.
I just know your morning walks are going to get brutal here pretty soon. If you
but
it's
early enough that I'm not in the thick of it.
That's a good point.
Like that's why I do it early. I do it first thing, so I don't have to worry about no matter what it was. And I did these walks in Houston, so
that's true.
If I can handle Houston thickness, I can handle.
Just worried about the cars.
Just the random folks. There's one thing about the Woodlands. There's a path that I can walk right from my house that walk the distance that I need to walk. Here there are paths like that, but they're not near the Haymarket, so I have to go and kind of zigzag into space. And we try to avoid people along the way, and trying not to get beat up. Random cars just deciding that they're going to ignore basic human traffic level, like, hey, he has the light. I guess I should go now. That sort of stuff. But yeah, not bad. To start, a couple of things. One, shout out. It's time to shout out and to celebrate and to do in full form. Congratulations, Haas Tabrizi, on your success and your presentation. Haas was awarded his first TEDx talk in November in Hampton, Virginia. Haas Tabrizi, proud of you, bruh. I know the path you took. I know how much work you put into it, and I'm proud of you for what you do, who you are, and why you do it, brother.
Thank you, DP. I really appreciate that.
What?
It actually we have some synergy here. I was like, do we talk about SummerSlam first? Do we talk about Shohei and the MLB trade deadline? Do we go back to our show last week and say which was the biggest mistake we made in our draft? Like, do we do that?
No, I wasn't going to do that to you. I was not going to back up the tractor over you and just roll over you like that. I wouldn't do that to you. This is a week of celebrating Haas Tabrizi. This is not a day to mock and mimic. It's not even necessary.
Guy who has Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes. It's okay.
Yeah, but you got no building and no brand.
My favorite comment was one of the. I can't remember who the tweet came from, but favorite comment was, "Wow, this got out of hand fast."
Yeah.
Of course, their names.
Look, that if you want to know what it was like when Haas's teams and my teams practice against each other, that's literally what it. That's literally what it was like. It was like, watch this.
You brought a rocket launcher to a knife fight?
Yes, I absolutely did. This is what it was all about.
All the big mans.
We decided. Look, the moment you say we're gonna keep score, okay, I'm gonna win. Like that's like I'll fight fair later, but winning is when.
When I was making that graphic, I almost thought about sliding a few names over.
Right?
I was like, this feels unfair.
Just to see what just to see what it would look like if you did it any other way. And I just thought about it. I was like, yeah, but he doesn't have a brand. Like he's literally just gonna hang out and just hope that like he can't license, he doesn't have a ring to use. Like he's got no pyro. He's got to go to like Missouri and get fireworks. Like no TV.
Triple H would disagree with all that.
YouTube. Yeah, he's got to be on YouTube. Like,
anything else you want to rehash about last week's draft?
Actually, what we could do after one of the breaks is any changes you want to make to the matches. I want to see if there's any matches. You're good?
Nope, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Nope. I'm really good. I'm really good that whatever that we're gonna like, we're gonna close the show with like military level rocket launchers and like we're just gonna bulldoze over whatever it is you do anyway. So it doesn't. It's not gonna matter.
The wrestlers come out of the ring. They set off the snake fireworks.
Right, like it's like they're sitting there with sparklers. Like there's Roman Reigns with sparklers, handheld sparklers, just wee. This is him coming out of the ring.
Yeah.
He's got streamers like they do in the Olympics.
Do you have some? I feel like you're asking
Do
for
I
this
have what?
match. You got the sleeve.
Say it again.
I feel like you're hinting at something. You got something up your sleeve about wanting to repick these matches, something that we didn't think of. It's got to be pretty good. Swing it.
I got the Usos. He got Roman Reigns, but I have the hot property.
Yeah.
I have the hot property. Like it doesn't matter. I have the hot property. Like, and then Roman can't talk. He has to just sit there. Paulie Heyman is not there to like bail him out. Like and Solo's like, yeah, I'm over here with Jimmy and Jay. This is where I belong. Yeah, I'm really good with this. Like this is good. I did want to. Somebody asked me this morning, and well, actually, it was yesterday morning, and I did a show for Charlotte, back in Charlotte, and they were talking about the greatest wrestlers to never win a heavyweight title. Greatest wrestlers to never win a heavyweight title. And by heavyweight title, amongst the big three. So think WWF/WWE, NWA, or AWA. So Nick Bockwinkel, Hulk in that era and the like. And then they wanted to kind of slide and say, okay, but AWA is relative because some of that included a time where DiBiase and company got to wear the strap. But you kind of have to include Mid-South and anything that was defined as a world championship. Because that includes the Von Erich brothers, right? Because if you're not going to do that, it's all the Von Erichs. Literally, your list starts with the Von Erich and finishes with the Von Erich. But the great ones in the major territories, right? And then you say, because some people say, well, it's just if you weren't the WWE champion or WWF champion, you weren't champion. Which is true to a degree, but not the complete story. And so immediately I started thinking about, and of course they went traditional, like now. They were thinking from now, like who are the best fighters now who have not won the major titles, and that would be the Universal title, the Raw Championship, the SmackDown Championship, whatever you want to do in that space. And then they threw a curveball because they asked me women who had never won either the Diva strap or the WWE strap. NWA didn't really do a women's title like that. So, and then we landed on some pretty interesting names. And I thought it actually stunned me because the first person that came to mind is the greatest babyface of all time, and Rick Steamboat. Like Ricky Steamboat, to me, No, I don't think there was ever a more popular wrestler, like a face that was just more popular than Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat back in the 80s and 90s. Oh my goodness, he could stop traffic. Like he could stop traffic because just rock star good looks. He had the total package. Changed his body from being like a surfer bro into a bodybuilder.
Do you have the mic skills too?
Yeah, well, because Steamboat, like he was just very smooth. Like he was very matter of fact, he was Haas. Like he was Haas on a microphone. Like he was very cerebral in that he would dice people up. Like he would listen, Nate, I know you're planning to get the figure 4 on me, but listen, for my family, for my friends, for all the fans, it'll be you in the figure 4 leg lock.
He'd intimidate you and break you down philosophically.
Yeah, like you just went. Wait a minute, he didn't even yell at me, bro. Like wait,
I'm scared.
like he didn't do that. So Haas, who comes to mind immediately for you?
You said current, and with that, Cesaro comes to mind. I know that's not your world. Did Piper ever win one?
Piper did not. Piper is in my top 5 for guys that did not win the heavyweight title.
So for people that WWE missed the boat on, it's Cesaro. I think they could have done a lot with him. That's now, and then back then it would be Piper.
Yeah, Piper fell into that list. Ted DiBiase would be somebody that should have been still one of the best technical wrestlers to ever. Like it's those people, DiBiase, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. Hennig was a great performer, great mic'sman, best technical wrestler that exists. Arn Anderson, actually, for what he did in the Four Horsemen, because he was the guy that had to take on literally every major force in it. Then you get into the rivals of the Four Horsemen. So take the great factions and who stood up to them. Well, you got to start with Magnum Terry Allen. Magnum TA was the future of pro wrestling till his car accident. I mean, he was literally set up. He had just gone through and had what may be the most underrated rivalry ever. Magnum Terry Allen versus Nikita Koloff. Back in the day where they did a best of 7 series. All on pay-per-views. Best of 7 for the, what one of them said was the U.S. title. And it was so well done.
That sounds awesome.
It was so well done that, Nikita won the first 3. And Nikita...
they set it up for a sweep almost.
Yeah, well, Nikita Koloff, we hadn't seen a 300-pounder who moved like that. Like, you hadn't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like, wait a minute. We saw 270-pound Uncle Ivan Koloff. But Nikita came through and had traps of steel, and he would hit you with a sickle, and he was just physical. And so Nikita falls in that line. Tully Blanchard from the Four Horsemen falls in that line. Yeah, those are the ones. Those technical wrestlers who did everything well. Unfortunately, they were the Brad Dohertys, Mark Prices, Dominique Wilkins, to Michael Jordan. They were doing this during the Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan era. I mean, think about it. Those two ran it. I would hate to be a wrestler back in the 70s when it was just Bruno. Like it was Bruno and against the world.
Yeah.
And so there were some, Blackjack Mulligans. There were some folks who, there's a guy, Hoss, I'm going to give you one that even a lot of the average wrestling fans don't know. But the guy growing up that made me shiver was in fact a guy called Spiros Arion. Spiros Arion, first of all, he had the best hair I'd ever seen to that point. Like big Greek god
I'm looking him up.
of a guy, right? And Arion gave Bruno the business. And he was a superb wrestler. Another one from that era, the Masked Superstar. The Masked Superstar was at 280 pounds. One, he was a genius. He seemed like he was like privately he was a college professor.
Mm-hmm.
Like he spoke like a college professor, but he was 280 pounds. He looked like Mark Gastineau decided he was going to wrestle, and he just spoke brilliantly. But those were the guys back in the day where you just went, yeah, yep, that could work. That could work. And Hoss, I didn't know this one. I lost this one. I didn't know that Razor Ramon never won the strap.
Yeah, it's the one I was waiting to tell you.
Yeah,
so that's shocking with how many belts he won. That he didn't win the big one, and with how popular he was. When you said DiBiase with legacy, what about his son? Like with what Orton was able to do, and how many times he won the belt, and how big Cody's become. I think that's something that was missed.
Well, they were the politics of pro wrestling, the things that were going on away from the ring, and it shows up later because Junior was Cody Rhodes. Like that literally was the order, was that it was going to be DiBiase Jr. and Cody Rhodes Jr. with Dustin kind of being the bridge for all of them to figure it all out. But DiBiase Jr. was actually as good as his dad. Cody can never be as good as his dad. Not in that area. But DiBiase was as good as his dad. And I thought, wow, this was the future, but it just didn't work out. Here's one for you. Paul Orndorff. That when you think that WrestleMania 1 was built on Orndorff and Piper against Hogan, neither one of them ever got the strap because you invested so much into getting it there that there was nothing in the tank left for them. You couldn't strip Hogan of the title. Like you built up all the stuff to create Hogan into this superhuman thing. You could not take the belt from him.
Well, that's what I think what you're saying too. It's like a superstar generation. It's like you said, it's growing up in the worst era, and then you're gonna try to rip that belt away from Hogan.
It's think about it.
It's a hard story to write to make the fans, applaud and say it's a good pay-per-view afterwards.
Well, think about it. If Jordan didn't go play baseball, Akeem Olajuwon doesn't get his roses. Yeah. Like Patrick Ewing never got. Patrick's one of the top 20 players ever, and is never going to get credit.
Mm-hmm. Well, even like Scottie Pippen, he gets credit for being one of. But I generally believe like Scottie Pippen could have been the second best player on the NBA on any other roster.
No.
You wouldn't say so?
No.
He was so
No. He was never the guy.
He was the Austin Reeves of the 90s.
Yep.
Whoa, Austin Reeves.
No, he was what he was. Is that he was, while I would put him in the Arn Anderson category, right? That he took on the bigs so that Ric Flair could keep the strap.
Mm-hmm.
That was his job. And you give him credit for that. That in any other time, in any other place, he'd be the guy. But when he had the chance, he swung it. Like he had the chance. He literally had the chance. And nope. Just couldn't look. He sat at the end of the bench and pouted.
Yeah.
When your coach tells you, I trust
Tony Kukoc is taking the shot. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Like, hold on. Give me the mic. Hold on. This is like talking about the regular season. This is like talking about the first round of the playoffs. This is talking about the first three quarters. Does not matter. That player does not matter. It's the player that makes it in the last 20 seconds. It's the player that makes the game winners. It's the player that does it in game 7. That's the player that matters. And that was not Pippen. Pippen was the glue. He was defense. He did the dirty work, but you could have replaced him. That's where Rodman Rodman came in and he was similar. So there's only this many people that are that elite. So they're not even.
That's how.
in this,
But that's how good the Bulls were.
Mm-hmm.
That they could have done this with Ron Harper. They could have done Pippen.
I'm a lot higher on Pippen
with
than you
Ron
guys. This
Har-
really surprises me. I don't think
No.
he's that-
I watched. No. There were too many nights where I watched Scotty ride the coattails.
He's just angry with the contract that he took. He did take, and then the whole money thing really
but you
bothered
did.
him.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. He was never going to be the guy who got the bucket that the Bulls needed.
he's
He
Paul
was never the
George.
bucket guy. Yeah, he was never the bucket guy.
Way off P.
Right?
Okay. I will.
Playoff P is
I'm
the
not-
perfect
really,
example.
I won't be down. I don't think he's as easy as replaceable. But
Well, here. Let me give you this: that in the greatest moment required, Jordan dribble drives and has the option. He's triple team.
Mhm.
He didn't even look at Scottie Pippen. He gave it to Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
He gave it to Steve Kerr. Like he could have slashed and drove with Scotty. Nope.
Steve Kerr.
Nope. Steve Kerr off the bench, cold off the bench. And hey, Kerr, get him. Get him. Get him. And it was, think about that Phil Jackson said, in the most important possession of the season, of the entire season, I do not choose you.
I mean, at that point, I wouldn't have either. Because that was at a point in time where the Scottie Pippen, that's where he's always a hard player for me to figure out where he belongs. Because there's so much of him where I'm like, if you were there mentally, what could have been? If you weren't just, if you don't
Top
feel like you
five
got
defender.
burned.
Yeah.
Top five.
Top five defender,
Top three.
top
No.
five. Well, no, because there's some dudes. There's some dogs out there.
Scottie, I
There's
got to
some
go back
dogs.
after today's show. I'm gonna go back and I'm
There's
gonna watch
some
some more Scottie Pippen.
Well,
See
first
if I
of all,
remember in this.
first of all, he wasn't
But
even Rodman. He wasn't Rodman.
Rodman's only Rodman.
Right.
I'll say that much.
And he was barely Jordan.
Yeah, no, he's never gonna be close to Michael Jordan.
No, defending.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Defending. Like there's 3 dudes in the entire league that Jordan couldn't shut down. There were 3 guys. Hoss, am I wrong in that there's like 3 guys who could get Jordan rankled defensively? Am I missing somebody?
I mean, Dumars.
Like
Rodman.
it's a short
I brought
list.
up Rodman.
It's a short list. So
Dan Marley.
Thunder Dan. Look, Thunder Dan gave Jordan 27, and talked smack. That's how good Jordan was defensively. If you gave him 27, people talked about it. Like, oh boy, that dude gave Jordan the business. And then Jordan the next night lit him for 47.
65.
Wait a minute. Oh, is that what we're setting the standard at? Let me double that and then take you. Listen, tell your wife I said, hey.
That being said, I think that's a good point to go to break right there on Dan locking up Michael Jordan. But nonetheless, we'll throw it to break. This is The Breeze. I'm Harrison pushing the ones and twos. We got the host, Haas, and DP here as always. We'll throw it to break here and be back in just a bit.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
Will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415 or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit, and you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. Brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You were so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555, John Henry's Plumbing.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOIC.com.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. Weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 toys in Bud Light, Coors Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
To the Breeze with DP and Haas. A ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, welcome back into Ticket Weekends. This is The Breeze. That's DP. That's Haas. I'm Harrison pushing the ones and twos. And again, if you guys want to join the show, chime in on the Starter Heyman text line at 402-464-5685. And we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. And again, shout out to Allo, bringing Haas on the VIP line. Brought to you by Allo Fiber, where we understand the exceptional service with local heart. So again, shout out Allo. Great service. If you don't use Allo in Lincoln for your Wi-Fi needs, you got to look elsewhere. I've used the other ones. I'm not going to drop their names on live air, but just trust Allo. They're definitely the way to go. But over the break, Haas, DP was rant and raving. There's a lot of players in the generation of Michael Jordan that are lost players. You went on, I think you probably went on the 5 minutes just naming different guys left and right.
So Haas, this is where we were, right? That
left on Karl Malone, Stockton.
Right, like we think of how great that era of basketball was, and how many players. Gary Payton, Rick Sitz. We mentioned Patrick Ewing, but we didn't talk about it. Allen Houston. who gave buckets to everybody, and we just don't even talk about him. We don't talk about Bill Laimbeer. We don't talk about Dennis Johnson and what he did for the Celtics in that run. We don't talk about the Phoenix Suns. Listen, there's a dude we haven't talked about who's still one of the top 20 players to ever play this game. We don't talk about Grant Hill. We don't talk about Grant freaking Hill. Like, this is how much Jordan just destroyed the skew of basketball. The Bulls, with three of the best, actually four of the best defensive players the NBA could put out there. They were so good 1 through 4 that they could rotate switch, but chose not to. With Harper, Jordan, Rodman, Pippen. And they could throw whatever other big they just randomly found. By the way, if you wanted to get really saucy, put Horace Grant at 5 and let him just really disrupt everything. They took the bad boys, the Lakers. I don't know, who's that guy that played point guard for the Lakers? Yeah, that dude. The bad boys of Detroit, who had everything. The Knicks, who had 3 players who were legitimate in that space. We don't talk about Reggie Miller and what he did, along with one of the best, most underrated big men in Rick Smits in the history of the league. So if you go through this thing, we don't talk about Brad Daugherty, Blackfoot, North Carolina. We don't talk about
Larry Nance, baby.
Yes, I mean, Haas. Who am I? Like, I'm not.
Mark
I'm
Price,
not wrong, okay?
John Starks.
That's the one I gave Harrison. That Mark Price. In an era where, right, Craig Elo, Nance. I mean, they were Brad Daugherty. I love Brad Daugherty. Brad Daugherty, Blackfoot, North Carolina. I love NASCAR. Through all of that era was so good in talking about Zeke and Reggie and otherwise. We don't even talk about John Stockton and Karl Malone. We don't
Larry
even
Bird.
talk about them.
Larry Bird.
You're right? Like, what we do, like, we were living in, this is why I lose some of the respect for today's game, because in a talented era, a deeply talented, high IQ level of basketball, there was still the physicality. Like, that era was so good athletically, and they say today's athletes are better. No, they're different, but they're more fragile. And they're better maintained, right? Better nutrition, better trainers and masseuses and therapists and they got psychologists out there. They've got all this stuff that era didn't have.
Yeah, I never liked that argument. The recovery and stuff's always going to get better, but in terms of like you trying to say, I mean, you just have to look at some of the Lakers centers in the past and try to tell me they're not athletic as the guys playing today.
Haas, who's the most underrated Laker from that era?
Underrated?
If I asked you,
Eddie Jones,
would
Eldon Campbell.
Yeah.
You said underrated because everyone talks about Nick Van Exel and Magic and Byron Scott.
From Showtime.
From Showtime.
There's
Michael Cooper.
From Showtime, there's a player, and he's probably the 4th player that people from that Lakers team talk about. And quite frankly, James Worthy is the most underappreciated great player in NBA history.
I mean, Worthy, Scott, Kareem, Magic,
Do they have
Michael
Fox
Cooper.
yet on that
No.
roster?
Fox was first with
they
Boston. He was with
John
Boston.
Sally, who they stole from Detroit.
I need to call my parents in. This is when they thrive. They got the Haas. If you don't know, my parents got the Forum. When you go down to the man cave downstairs into the projector room, you got the Forum lit up as you're going down in there. If I gave my dad a call, he'd be able to rattle off the entire glory days of the Lakers.
You need to take a picture for Haas.
As you talk about all this, this is actually what was on my mind before the show. So I was asked this week, who do you listen to and where do you get your mindset from? Like what podcasts you listen to and this and that. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, you don't listen to podcasts to develop your mindset? It's like, no, my mindset is created because of my generation of sports. It's the Jerry Rices, it's the Michael Jordans, it's the Kobe Bryants, it's the Magic Johnsons. That's the mindset where you don't make excuses for anything. You work hard, you work harder than everyone, you go shoot 1,000 shots a day, you get elbow surgery because you shot so many times. That's the mindset. You don't make any excuses. So yeah. DP, where did your mindset start in the 60s and 70s?
See, now you're getting into it. Okay, this is a whole show. This is a whole show.
You only got about 6-7 minutes.
Right. But Haas will be able to understand this being a kid of the DC, of the DMV. He'll get some understanding for it. And then we were lucky and we were blessed in that my coaching heroes were George Allen, Joe Gibbs, John Thompson, Lefty Driesell, Terry Holland, and Ted Williams. So Ted Williams was managing the Senators at the time.
Okay.
And then as you got older, cable came in, so in the 70s. But in Washington, D.C. was the center. D.C. was the hub for sports entertainment in the country because George Michael Sports Machine. This was our NBC, our local NBC sports guy. He was Channel 4 every night, except for on Sunday nights. We didn't know that he was broadcasting to the world. We thought he was just broadcasting to us.
Oh, so you thought you had your local guy.
Oh,
he was national.
No, he was. But this was the local show.
Okay.
He was just being beamed nationally, and we just like, wait a minute, like, oh, because George Michael, he came to a high school game that I was playing in. And he actually gave me my nickname. He actually gave me a nickname that stuck because he saw me play and I had a big game and he gave me a nickname.
What's the nickname?
That stuck? Hollywood. He called me Hollywood.
Okay.
And because in it, I made 2 big plays. Shout out Barry Thompson for getting me the football. For getting me the football. Well done, Barry Thompson. But so Sunday night, I'm at home in Arlington and I'm on the sports machine. So the standard for if you're going to do sports is a little different for me. And then once I got out of college, I got to I was in sports bars. And so I heard about every great program and NFL, NBA team in the country. That's why I know so much about the Lakers, because the Laker fans would get together at my bar because we showed all the Laker games. Texas A&M, Nebraska, like those teams would be in my bar because DC's a transient town, and Capitol Hill, all those people from Capitol Hill would come to my bar because we had the big satellite, and they could come and get their games, and there'd be 300, 400, 500 fans from every other team except Washington. And so if you've never heard Joe Gibbs talk or John Thompson talk, and then I went to Charlotte and I hung out with Dom Capers, who, man, have your mind blown, right? Ric Flair gives you real insight to sports behind sports. Then, Jerry Sloan, Urban Meyer, Bronco Mendenhall, Kyle Whittingham, Lavelle Edwards, some of the great coaches. Yeah, that's the standard, as Haas says. If you're around those people, two of the great minds that exist in this space were at the school that Haas and I coached at.
I was going to say, who you are is starting to click a lot.
Well, Red Jenkins is one of the great high school basketball coaches in the country, period. He's one of the top 10 in the country. No discussion about it. I don't care who you heard. This is one of the top 10. And then we were led by a guy by the name of Doug Craig, who was a smart and well-minded and brilliant and a great leader. And he let me and Haas, you imagine a head coach willing to have me and Haas pecking at your brain all day. Like, think about that under in the building named Red Jenkins with the coach led by Doug Craig. There's Barry Thompson, DP, and Haas. Oh, and by the way, we were the 3 lower coaches because there's a guy named Dermot Marshall who was one of the great minds ever. And so there's a super team on a bench. Haas, am I lying?
Speak the truth.
So, yeah, I mean, Haas and I, we would get together. Like, Haas would give me a ride home, and we would just – it was the lab. It was the lab. And this is when I knew Haas was deemed and set for greater than what he was doing. Like, I knew. I'm like, nope, this is a guy. Like, I knew this about Barry. I knew this about Dermia. But I was like, Haas loves this thing the right way. He cares the right way. He processes the right way. And I said, whatever, I need to be attached to it and watch him go. And that's here we are, TEDx speaker, radio host, national radio host, Haas Tabrizi.
I know. I'm excited for the TED Talk too. I do enjoy those. Before I even knew DP did one, I always used to listen to those. And I figured out he did one.
Put the right number up.
Yeah, he did one, and then I came back, and then he was like, I got offered another one.
And offered 10 more.
Yeah, probably. The whole day.
Oh,
Before you go to break.
Yeah.
So can you explain in 60 seconds how taking Division I athletes, if you were a CEO of a company, how you would start there? Why would you start with athletes?
Their ability to process in chaos. Their ability to process information, make decisions, that put in the work, because athletes have figured out, whether it's a wrestler who's figured out how to maneuver his muscles when he's fatigued and in short space, basketball players who have learned to get long and change the way they reprocess. Intelligence and greatness is the reprocessing of how you think. It is the change in the thing. For a long distance runner to say, I'm tired. And when everybody else says I'm tired, athletes have figured out how to keep going. When athletes, when they interact with friction, athletes know how to get through the friction. They know how to propel in the friction. And then athletes learn how, and this is a Haasism. Athletes have learned that their greatness, and they get humbled in their greatnesses because they know they are surrounded by other greatnesses. They are the byproduct and the accumulation of coaching greatnesses, family greatnesses, community greatnesses, team greatnesses, and all those people. And you accept the greatness of Haas, the greatness of Harrison makes me better. And the moment I accept that, the better I'm going to be. That's why if you're going to build a company, find you some horses. Find you some people that embrace friction, and you'll go much further because the friction doesn't slow you down.
Man, I could subscribe to Haas. That's powerful stuff. Nonetheless, though, we do got to go throw it to break, Haas. We got one more segment. It will be real quick, probably about 5 minutes on the last one. But nonetheless, this is The Breeze. I'm Harrison pushing the ones and twos. We got host Haas, DP. As always, we'll throw it to break and be back in just a bit.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415 or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit, and you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour, an opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SEC, your path to possible.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. Brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You are so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers, ready mix concrete, Husk concrete, and Beatrice concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to do the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Welcome into The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into The Breeze here on Ticket Weekends. I'm Harrison Arns pushing the ones and twos. We got host DP and Haas in here as always. And again, if you guys want to watch the streams, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. Again, shout out to Allo bringing Haas on through the VIP line. Allo Fiber, where we understand the importance of exceptional service with the local heart. So again, thank you to Allo for everything they do, and feel free to join in the show with any last-minute comments. But Haas, let's see, we're looking at about 5 minutes, 6 minutes here roughly. Where do you want to go on this last segment?
So I'm going to buy you guys 30 seconds to think about this, but we're going to talk about Shohei Ohtani, and I'm going to act as the Dodgers. And DP, you want to be the Stros?
Sure.
So, Harrison, you get to pick. Do you want to be Baltimore, Tampa Bay, the Braves? Who do you want to be?
Give me the Braves.
Okay. So, we have the Braves, the Dodgers, and the Stros. Do you trade for Shohei Ohtani, and what do you give up? So, Number one, I don't think the Angels will ever trade with the Dodgers. On behalf of the Dodgers, would I trade my top 5 or 6 prospects for Shohei Ohtani? They have 2 catchers there in the top 100. They have a couple outfielders, a couple pitchers in the top 100. They don't need any more catchers. They have Will Smith. So, okay, we can give one up. I believe, just like with Mookie Betts, if you trade for a elite generational talent like that, you are ahead in the ability to re-sign him. So, yes, Shohei might come to the Dodgers. He wants to stay out west, and he's by far the best player in baseball. He wants to stay near his home. He can go to LA. It's the easy thing to do. But if he goes to a team and they wow him with what they have, then the Dodgers lose out. So I would give up all 6 of the top prospects, anything the Angels want. I will pay the $500-600 million, and I would do it because if you have him, then Kershaw's age isn't as important next year. The Dodgers, yes, they have Buehler, but he's been hurt Tommy John twice. May, Tommy John twice. Urias, ERA over 5. Gonsolin, inconsistent. So the Dodgers have all these arms, but they don't have a true ace. So the Dodgers need Shohei Ohtani. I would back up the Brinks truck. I would back up the prospects and go for it.
If I'm the Houston Astros, I flash this golden ring, that ring that sits on your finger right now, as the reigning, defending, universal World Series champion. I would flash that and let everybody know I don't need you because I'm already the best. I already have a plan. I already have a path. I'm closer to it than anybody that exists. But I tell you what, if you want a deal, I've got people in my minor leagues that could start for you now. These are people that are trained by me, coached by me. They're paid by me. Now, you could have any, I'm going to say this out loud, any 3 starters you want. Any 3. They could be, you could have a starting pitcher. You can have 2 starting pitchers. You could have 2 starting pitchers and Bregman. You could have 2 starting pitchers and Altuve. You could have Altuve, Bregman, and your Quiddy.
For 2 months?
And I'll throw you cash.
For 2 months.
Because guess what? You ain't beating me. As what's the great coach said? I can take mine and beat yours, and I can take yours and beat mine. Come here, and we'll win the title. Stay where you are, and we'll win the title.
God damn, I won. I think, honestly, if you're the Braves, you're kind of going at the same angle.
Yep.
Like, hey,
yep.
Looking over here, we're at the top of our division. Who do you want? I think it's a. I mean, if you're getting Ohtani, is there? At what point are you saying that's too much? I mean, he's such a generational player at this point. Like you're hitting 2 birds with 1 stone automatically as soon as you get him on your roster. I think I'd probably go the same thing.
You're getting Mookie and Kershaw.
Mm-hmm.
Better.
You're getting Mookie and Kershaw.
What's too much? Is there too much?
There's not.
Like, I let you pick my roster and
right,
go from there. Like
what team? I mean, there's no pitcher on the Braves that good.
Mm-hmm.
And if you said to me, okay, I'm going to take your best player and your best pitcher, or I'm going to take, would you say Freddie and Acuna?
We have Freddie.
Because I might.
We ain't giving you Freddie back.
I might, right?
Freddie's mine.
Because I might. Right? Neither one of them is going to pitch 5 games in a playoff series.
Mm-hmm. Man, we're actually going by quick here. As Crowbait chimes in, he says, "Man, that hour went quick, and good thing he did because I'm losing track of time a little bit myself here." But Haas, man, before we go, I'll let you kind of have final comments here and wrap up.
any of the teams, if they back up the truck, it makes sense. It's just for 2 months that's the biggest problem. And having the inside track to me is the most important thing. Having the inside track really is an important thing. If the Orioles, they take all their youth, they're doing so well, they could do the same thing. The Yankees, if they want to go make their team from Mr. Burns and the Simpsons and have all those all-stars where Don Mattingly has to shave his sideburns because they're too low because if you're remembering what I'm saying, you do it all for Shohei Ohtani. Do it all.
You do it all.
I think that's the first unanimous agreement we've had in a while.
Yeah.
And then these a little choppy lately.
Yeah, this is why we do it.
Yeah,
this is why it's good radio, though.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. With that being said, you can catch all that in this Crow Bait. Not enough time. You said the 1 hour by too quick. TicketFM.com, and you can listen to the ticket all day long. There'll be more than enough content for you to dive into. But nonetheless, that's going to be it for the morning segment of Ticket Weekends. We'll still have Ticket Weekends later tonight with Ricky C. Simmons, Finish Line, and Husker Rewind. Plenty of good stuff ahead, but this is it for the Breeze. I'm Harrison DP. That's Haas. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.